So today's FAQ is a bit of a tricky one. Should someone be blacklisted in church for dating? And I know that there is a bit of a fear, particularly among men, that if they go out with one girl and it doesn't work out, then no one in the church will want to date them. And let me speak to the people on the other side of that first. The Christian community is too small to call dibs. If one person's dated that person, or one person's had a dating experience with them, or one person fancies them but nothing's come of it yet, sadly, because it can be difficult with interpersonal relationships, it can be difficult with friendships, but we cannot just box that person off. We have to allow space for friendship with everyone, and that may mean dating a couple of people who kind of know each other. And it's openness, honesty, and good communication that means that is possible, and hopefully there's as little pain as possible within it. So just because someone's dated someone doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to date somebody else in the church or in the community, but it needs to be handled with care and love and openness. Let's say person A has dated person B and person B has been left stung by it. There are different types of being stung. Sometimes things just don't work out. Sometimes that person's just not your person. I think when we look at the way we deal with people, we have to think through the difference between being frustrated by someone's actions and being hurt by someone's sin. So if someone has sinned, someone has gone big, they have belittled you, they have cheated on you, been sexually pushy with you, any of those types of things, that is fundamentally wrong and they should be challenged on that behaviour. If you've dated and just not got on, or you've niggled at each other and you've ended up sort of getting at each other and no one, and like, okay, they didn't deal with it amazingly when you broke up, I think it is wrong to blacklist or spread that around. I think under circumstances like that, it's okay to say, we weren't a match. We tried, we weren't a match. If it's a case of somebody needs protecting, that is a very different thing. If you know that that person is an unsafe person to date, that they have been abusive, that they have been, like I said, sexually pushy, sexually abusive, they have been controlling, undermining, then that I think is something to be taken very seriously, and it's something probably to take to your church leaders. I think it's very difficult for you as a person who's been on the receiving end of that to see clearly what's the best things to communicate and the best ways to communicate it about that person. So leave that to the church leadership. Tell them your side of the situation and leave that person to be accountable to them, particularly in circumstances where you've been as poorly treated as that. I think it's important that you don't get re-involved in that person's life and in that person's situation. So hand it to other people. If you're person A and you're worried that you're going to be blacklisted or bad-mouthed around or whatever, and I've had someone come and ask me this question. They said there are a couple of guys in our church who no one wants to date, and I'm worried that if I date people, I'll end up in that pile. I would say I knew the ins and outs of a couple of those situations, and there's no doubt in my mind that those people knew what they were doing. They knew that they were behaving poorly. They knew that they would have been embarrassed if their behaviour had been spoken about from the front of church, or even in small groups, or even in front of a church leader. You know when you are doing wrong. That is when you may find people tell other people about it in order to keep them safe, in order to make sure that nobody experiences the same thing. But if you're just dating and sometimes it doesn't go well, that's par for the course. And absolutely, people shouldn't be gossiping or bad-mouthing you for circumstances like that. So hopefully, if you are in a mature church circle where people are behaving well, adhering to accountability structures, there's no way for you to get blacklisted, because you are not going to be behaving like that. You're going to treat people respectfully in your dating situations, and you're going to be open and honest about your expectations of them, and hopefully they will be of their expectations of you, and you can work out quickly if that is going to be a healthy dating situation.